Alright. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Just gonna double check that I am live. Yes, I am. Alright, guys. I don't think I've done a live stream in about a month. It was because I was like stupid busy. I went on a vacation to New York for like a week or so. And that like kicked my ass energy wise. And then when I came back, I just, what was it called? I was very tired. Between work and obviously putting up videos every week, I just haven't really had a lot of time. But I'm gonna try to go back to weekly live streams because I like doing it. But anyways, just wanted to talk about a few different projects that have come out that I've seen. You know, obviously the big two are gonna be Welcome to Derry and what is it called? Welcome to Derry and Predator Badlands. But there was a few things I saw earlier last month that I wouldn't mind chatting about still. The first one being, as you can see up on the corner, is Black Phone 2. I just want to give a quick little shout out to it because honestly, I really like the movie. I know people had their problems with this, saying it felt unnecessary. I wouldn't necessarily say that. Oh. But I definitely don't think it's as good as the first one. But man, is it a good movie? Oh my god. I don't know if I'm supposed to go up, down. But I do think it was a good movie. I think that's the best version of the movie we could have gotten for a sequel. But, you know, oh my god. I keep fucking falling. And as usual, I'm just kind of playing games while I'm talking about this. So, I'm not. It's always so hard for me to multitask. But, let's see who this guy is. But yeah, no, I really liked it. I thought it was shot really well. Like, it looked really good. Especially when everything went into the dream sequences and it was all shot on what was it, Super 8, it looks like Super 8 film. So that was cool. I really liked the brother and sister dynamic in this even more than the first one. And I really appreciate that they tried something different by making the sister character the main character. Like, not that Finney doesn't get his chance to be very much a part of the spotlight, but you know, they do decide to focus on I think his sister's name was Gwen. I think they decided to definitely be more centered on her story, and honestly, I was completely fine with that. I don't really think it was unnecessary, if I'm being completely honest. And I just thought it was a lot of fun. I think it gave me everything I needed from it. Oh shit. See, I need to go kill some more bugs to get a map. But no, honestly, I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10. Good time. Don't really get why so many people really be shitting on it. Wasn't really a bad movie. I really like the Freddy Kruegerisms. And yeah. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next thing I wanted to talk about. Ooh, that's for last. Alright. I did get a chance to watch Shelby Oaks. And for those that I highly doubt are not aware of Shelby Oaks, it is the film debut, the theatrical film debut for YouTuber and film critic Chris Stuckman. Now, I've been a fan of Chris since like 2015, 2016. Oh fuck, I keep falling from this damn thing. And I don't really fully know how I feel in regards to him deciding not to review negative film or have negative feedback towards films. And now hear me out, because I know there's going to be a lot of people that are like, okay, well, that's obviously stupid. And I think it's more so the reason I don't specifically know how to fully feel about it is because I understand the idea of, hey, I'm gonna actually be a part of the film industry, and if I just start destroying someone else's work, I might bump into them, and it just comes off as simply just comes off as unprofessional. So I don't blame him in that regard for wanting to basically be more aware of the kind of dialogue he is putting out there in terms of his distaste towards projects. But what I'm not exactly the biggest fan of per se is he does, and I'm not saying that this is exactly what he's trying to do, um, but there are times where it kind of seems like he's taking an approach where it's like, oh, if you don't like a movie and you're talking about it in a negative way, like, kind of shame on you. And now I don't necessarily think that's exactly what he's trying to say or do, but I do think at times it could come off that way. um but yeah, I mean, that's basically where I'm at. I'm just a little conflicted. I don't really know how to fully feel about that. But either way, I will say it has hindered my ability to watch him. I used to watch him religiously, and now I kind of, I'm more picky on when I watch his stuff. And also, his taste in films have just kind of, they're not on my wavelength. He's been really big into like very niche art house films, and I'm just not a fan of art house projects. Tell me why I just got 3 ads in a row. I just pressed on your live. What is this? What game is this? I don't know. YouTube really just wants to give me all that money. I'm playing Hollow Knight. For viewers, this is my lovely girlfriend, who I love more than anything else in the world. And she's my number one fan. Oh my god, what the fuck is that? Ah, get away! Ah. I don't know what that is. I've barely played. I'm sure people that actually are playing Hollow Knight know that I've barely gotten anything into this game. But yeah. With that said, hi. um, I'm gonna move on to the actual movie itself. I did review it on our podcast. We have a podcast, me and two of my friends. Is it a good podcast? I'm gonna be for real with y'all. It's not so much a podcast where it's whereas it's, I mean, it is a podcast, don't get me wrong, but like, think about it like this. It's more of like a bunch of friends saying a bunch of stupid shit and recording it. So it's not like very professional, in-depth ideas on everything, but we have a fun time. So it's probably every generic podcast you've ever heard. But if you are interested in checking it out, it is called The Usual Rejects. If you really are so curious on what we have to say every week. But I did discuss the movie on there, but I will give it like a C. I did, for the most part, I did enjoy it. But it is a mess on a dialogue level and on a way, I don't know if structural level is the correct way to say it, but it's a mess on the way the movie gives explanations for things. It's very exposition heavy. I hate Connor so much. Yeah, me too. Where it's just not very, it's not handled well. A lot of the film has a lot of nonsensical things that happen. I'm sure everyone's already talked about the blood on her face to death, and sure, that's a big one. But there's a lot of things in the movie that, like, for instance, and I want to stress this very, very clearly, that I don't want to cause any disrespect to Chris, because he genuinely seems like a very, very nice person, and I'm very happy that he got to make a movie, especially the way it was made, you know, crowdfunded, and then picked up by Neon, and of course Flanagan helped with that as well. I mean, he's living the dream, so I want to also, I just want to respect him as a human being, you know. So I have been made aware, because, you know, like I said, I used to watch him religiously, that years ago he put this video out, and I remember watching it when it came out, about him and his wife, and basically he talks about how they couldn't conceive a child for a very long time, and it was a very emotionally traumatizing part of his life, and so I want to make sure that the criticism that I'm expressing to the film is not in any way to a disrespect to him as a human being or to his wife. But there is a moment where, like, very, very early on, in the first, like, 5 minutes of the film, and I'm going to do as much to not really get into spoilers in case anyone actually does want to watch the movie. Because I know it's only made about, like, 4 or 5 million, so I'm sure there's a lot of people that haven't checked it out yet. Very early on, it's established that our main character, Mia, cannot conceive a child, and that her and her husband, who's an absolute douchebag, were trying for a long time to have a kid, and they just couldn't do it. So they explicitly say for 12 years they stopped trying to have a kid. And for 12 years she leaves a baby, is it carriage? No, not carriage. What's the thing that you put a little baby in when they're going to bed? In their house for like 12 years. And it's just like a lot of decisions like that where it's like, why would they have that in their house for 12 years? Like, for us as an audience, is to remind us, oh, she has trauma. She tried to conceive a kid. She couldn't do it. But on a plot, or just on a logical level, it just doesn't make sense for them to have a crib in their house for over a decade. And there's just a lot of things in the movie that are like that, where you kind of just stop and go, how is this mistake, how was this made, you know? But I think it is a scary movie. It does feel very derivative, and that pains me a lot, because, you know, when someone that criticizes generic storytelling for, well, over, like, what, 15 years or something close to that effect, and then proceeds to make a very generic story and film, it does make me sad, because I was really expecting that not to be the case. You know, it was one of my most excited or anticipated movies of the year, and it really, because of that, did disappoint me. Not gonna lie, but I was enjoying it on a superficial way through the horror aspects of the film. Damn, I'm really bad at video games. I think the horror itself was done really well, even if it is derivative. I think it's done really, really, really well. But it's still very cliche. And I was still enjoying the movie nonetheless. And it was about a B in my mind until the ending. And I'm gonna, without spoiling anything, the ending was really bad. Like, it actually made me pretty mad. It kind of made the movie feel pointless to a degree. Not even to a degree. To me, honestly, it made me feel like the entire movie was pointless with how they chose to end it. And also, not only was it unfulfilling on a character level, emotional level, on a story level, it was so grotesquely cynical in a way I just wasn't expecting. It was very grotesque. And I really just hate how he chose to end the note he decided to end the movie on. It's not even necessarily the fact that it ends in a certain tone, more as the fact of how cynical it was. And then on top of that, the movie tries to be cute and throw one extra plot twist in there that was so bad. Because once again, it was just another thing that was like, that makes no sense. That wasn't established. Like, I don't know. You just kind of pulled that out of your ass. And it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. But I still enjoyed the filmmaking because it is a very well shot movie. Like, it is very gorgeous. The scares are still really good. The sound design is actually really good. And you know, you see the potential there. But it's still a mess of a movie. It's an enjoyable, superficial mess of a movie, I guess is the best way I can put it. But it does make me excited to see where Chris goes next. And I really hope, and everyone has said this, and I completely agree, I really hope he gets a writer for his next movie, and that yeah, because dialogue is just not his strong suit or story structure. But on a directorial level, he's really good. Script level, it's pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty bad. But that's my opinions on Shelby Oaks, and now we're gonna get into the real meat and potatoes of today's live. We are going to be, and this is going to be full spoilers for both Predator Badlands and Welcome to Derry, but we are first talking about, let's switch it over, Predator Badlands. Full spoilers. I loved this movie. I absolutely adored it to death. I do not like the Predator franchise. I love the Predator. I even have like a really nice action figure my roommate gave me of the character, and I absolutely adore the character itself. I do not like the movies. I think the first one is a nothing burger until you get to the last. Oh my god! Until you get to like the last 30 minutes. The last 30 minutes are really good. Everything building up to that, no. I do not fucking hell. I do not think that movie is good. It's okay. Predators 2 is fucking horrible. And Predators I actually do enjoy quite a bit, but it still falls into the biggest problem I have with the series is everything is Earth-centric, human-centric, and that's just not interesting. It feels like Predator Badlands was the initial concept of this franchise, but due to budget, due to the era of when the first movie came out, that it kind of got stuck in this formula of needing to stay within human-centric storytelling. And it's just not fucking interesting. Predator Badlands is interesting. Predator Badlands is the Predator movie I've been waiting for my whole life. It's the movie where I was like, holy shit, like this is what I've been asking for. Now, I loved Prey. I think Prey is the best Predator movie. And Killer of Killers came out earlier this year. I think is exceptional as well. And this to me is my second favorite one. Badlands is definitely my second favorite, followed by Killer of Killers, followed by Predators, followed by Predator, and then followed by Predator 2. I have not seen Shane Black's The Predator, and I only saw the first Alien vs. Predator movie, which actually surprised me because I actually enjoyed it. I don't think it's like an exceptional movie or anything like that, but it is surprisingly entertaining on a very superficial level. I mean, like you have aliens and motherfuckers fighting. I mean, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty fun to just watch. It doesn't really dive into deep character stuff. I mean, the main character is actually, you got more substance with her than I thought you would. But Predator Badlands, I will say I am kind of annoyed by the older people that have, you know, the 40-year-olds, the 30-year-olds that were like, that I've seen, that grew up with the Predator franchise, kind of not necessarily hating on the movie, but being like, this isn't Predator, this isn't, you know, with seeing the Predator as the antagonist. Like, I get it. But also, the first movie's just not good. And also, people just tend to forget, it wasn't even received well at the time. Like, we act like it's this masterpiece. You can go back to reviews from when the movie came out, and they were not kind. They were not kind to the movie. Because it's not good. I think there's an interesting movie in it, but it's at the last like 30-20 minutes. Like, the whole big showdown between Arnold and the Predator is great. But one of the criticisms, I mean, these are more so from people like the Critical Drinker, which absolute fucking Neanderthal, that guy. Where they like talk about how it's like not masculine enough and all of that. But like, here's the thing, and so far I have not seen a single person say this in any review of Badlands. One thing I really enjoyed about the first Predator movie is that it's satire on masculinity. And this movie's also the same. I mean, like, they make the character badass. They make Deck a complete badass, but it is also clearly a giant... they poke a lot of fun at obsessive masculinity the way the first movie did. So it's not like they're disrespecting the character of the franchise. They're actually adhering to the rules that the original movie set up. So it shouldn't be like this, Jesus Christ, no! It shouldn't be like this big surprise that they're doing this, because then you're just completely misunderstanding the first film. Not that it's a deep film to really understand to begin with. But, beyond, like, I guess having to defend the changes that I think are perfect and actually make this movie great and interesting, is the action. Like, it is incredible. I'll get into the tone in a second, but the action scenes are crazy. Like, it's PG-13, but you wouldn't know that. Like, if you weren't made aware of that. Like, it's very much, the violence is very much R-rated. And it's because there's no humans in the movie, so they could literally just get away with, like, the absurd amounts of violence that they have. Like, just decapitations, faces getting smushed in. I'm just gonna skip all this. I don't need to do that again. There we go. And then, and yeah, so the action set pieces are great. I think out of all three of Trachtenberg's, Predator movies, this one has the best action. It's just really good. Now, in regards to the tone of the movie, I really enjoyed it. I do think Ellie Fanning's character at times can be a little much, but I think they learned how to rein her in by pretty quickly. In all honesty, they learn how to rein her in pretty fast. But I do like the humor in the movie. Is this movie Disney-fied? I wouldn't really say so. I would say it's more jokey, but I don't really think that's because it's like a Disney studio mandate or anything of that. And look, like I'm not defending Disney because you know, but I am completely okay with the tone they chose to go with. Especially since having a character like the Predator, who is this very ultra serious, no nonsense, no bullshit kind of guy, it's kind of nice to balance some of that humor in there. And I absolutely adored the little what's it called? Um, uh, the little monkey dude, the Ballast, whatever. The little one though, not like that was so he was so funny. They really took the expression monkey see, monkey do pretty seriously. Oh damn. But yeah, no, honestly, just a really good movie. The ending fight where he has to battle his dad was so satisfying. Also, the dad's design was crazy. Kind of reminded me of like a Wendigo, like with the horns on his head. I don't know. The design was really cool. It was really interesting. Um and I really like how the movie incorporated Wayland Utani. Like they are aware of the Yautja, but they're not like particularly interested in them because they're more interested in things like xenomorphs or the callus because they can actually weaponize that. Whereas like because well, not that the callus isn't, but the Yautja is more of a conscious being. It is like very human in a way. Like it's conscious. It has culture. It's not an animal in the way that like the callus or the xenomorph is. So they can't. It's harder to control. But I love how they're introduced, and obviously I would love to get a very, I don't know, not necessarily serious, but a genuine attempt at telling a compelling story of predators versus aliens. Like it doesn't need to be like super profound and deep like the way Ridley Scott's alien movies are, but just something with substance, while still being able to have fun. Um, what else do I really want to say? I mean, the visuals are insane. I mean, 100, I think it was 100-ish million, and it looks great. I mean, like obviously 100 million is still a lot, but like just taking account of all these movies we've been having to watch lately that have like a 200 $300 million budget, and it's insane. Like a Fast and Furious, like the last one was like over $300 million. The visual effects in that movie were horrible, and like obviously visual effects is also based off of time, not just money. Oh shit. Oh, damn. Oh, cool. But yeah, no, the visuals looked really good. I really liked the way the world was. Oh my god, the way the world was portrayed. God, what was the name of the fucking world? The main setting. Um, I just like how creative they got with how everything would want to kill you, and in regards to once again paying homage to that original Predator movie, I love the fact that like Deck ends up having to do exactly what Arnold did in that movie, like use the nature and the environment around him to create weapons. And so he uses the bladed grass and like the slug guy and what else did he end up using? Just like stealing equipment from the synthetics, like just a bunch of stuff like that, where they just got really creative and not just paying an homage to that original movie, but also just having a fun, creative time. So yeah, that I would give it a solid 8 out of 10. Action was great. Pacing was pretty good for the most part. Elle Fanning's character could be a bit much at times. And I think it might just be a little bit. Maybe I'm giving it an A just because I think Prey is just like so good. But yeah, I really adored it. Now, we are going to move on to the biggest thing I want to talk about today, which is Welcome to Derry. Okay. I am a huge Stephen King fan. In fact, I will prove it to you. I was going to say, I have this big old bookshelf full of Stephen King things. I mean, literally on my desk, next to my desk, I got a Pennywise right there. On my desk, I do have a Pennywise. And then my entire bookshelf is all Stephen King. I have like half of his books. I have like 40-something of his books. And I have read it. As you saw on my shelf, I read the whole book in like a month. Back when I didn't have to deal with the wonders of adulthood and I could just sit and read for hours. Yeah, it's one of my favorite books I've ever read. And honestly, I think it's the best structured book I've ever read, which is insane because it's like over 1,000 pages and it's going not. The big thing is, the big belief is that the book only goes between two timelines, the timeline of them being kids and the timeline of them being adults. It is way more than that because you end up finding out all about Derry's history. And so like you literally, the book covers like hundreds of years really. So it's such a big book, not just in terms of obviously the length, but just in terms of like grand storytelling. And if you're I'm sure most of you guys are aware by now, Stephen King, most of his books take place in the same universe and they all take place within the same multiverse, and it's all connected by the Dark Tower, which I am halfway through the book series. I've been reading Stephen King for the past 6 years, and there's like a set list of books that was like recommended reading before you get into the Dark Tower, and it is one of them because Pennywise, or like it, the entity of it, does play very heavily into certain creature or certain villains and mythology within the Dark Tower universe. Oh, what the fuck? No, bitch. Hold up, sorry. I'm trying to kill these little motherfuckers. Okay. How do I heal again? There we go. I knew it was B. Okay. And this is and the reason I'm bringing all this up is because this is my favorite part of Welcome to Derry, is that they're actually really diving into they're really diving into the lore of the overarching Stephen King multiverse, and I absolutely love it. And I'm so happy that the movies themselves actually did get to go way more into like the backstory of it in a way that like I didn't expect them to go as far, because what was it called? Because it is weird. I mean, like, you're talking about an entity that's an alien, but he's also like from a universe in between universes, and then you have obviously the big turtle in the room, Maturin, which, you know, I didn't expect them to do Maturin, and I was really disappointed. I was still disappointed nonetheless when they didn't do him in It Chapter 2, but I think we're actually going to get him. Like, I think we're actually going to get Maturin, however you want to pronounce it. Mainly because, I mean, there's been more references to the turtle, with turtles in the series more than the movies, and obviously the native tribe literally calls themselves the Children of Matern. So I absolutely adore that they have been really leaning into the continuity of Stephen King's universe. And oh shit, hold on. Let's see. And them doing that has just made the show feel so exciting and refreshing. Oh, oh, and I'm just really hoping we get the damn turtle. But as so far the story itself, it is really good. I really like that. They're really giving us characters that are really easy to follow and care about, just like the movie did. And the book, and the original book itself, and they're all original characters, at least to my knowledge. And they're just wonderful. I absolutely love what's her name? The main girl, the Jenny. I'm already blanking on her name, but the one that had to go to Juniper Hill like multiple times. Her acting is really great. I just feel so bad for her. And I really hope she gets a happy ending this season, because poor girl's been through it. And her friend, fuck her friend, asshole, man. She really had what was coming to her in the last episode. I'll tell you that, because she was a dick. The fucking patty cakes, they can go fuck themselves. But one thing I gotta praise the show is how they've been restraining Pennywise. I mean, like, we've had him in about 2 episodes so far, but like obviously it's only through, how do I explain it? It's only been through silhouettes, his eyes, the photo of him that's like very blurry. And I just really appreciate the restraint they've had. I think we're finally getting the full reveal of him in the next episode, if I'm correct. But oh my god, my timing is so bad. But they've just done a really good job of just keeping that close to their chest and not overly relying on Pennywise, which I think the first movie also did a really great job of. And I'm gonna die from doing absolutely nothing. Oh my god. Okay, hold up. This is embarrassing. It's actually embarrassing. Okay. But the first episode, I think, did a great job at really playing with our expectations, because, and I was thinking to myself, because it's very obviously similar or familiar to the first film. And, you know, I was thinking to myself, I was like, you know, I really like this, this familiarity, to the characters, to the story itself. And I'm okay with this being the first season, but, you know, if 3 seasons of the same thing, you know, I'm going to be a little disappointed. I'm going to be like, all right, come on. Like, let's get to, what I call it? Let's get to something different. But I was completely okay with the first season being very, very familiar. But then the ending of that episode happens. And half the kids that we thought we were going to be following the whole season end up getting fucking massacred. And you're like, oh, so this isn't going to be like the movie at all. Well, I don't want to say at all, but, you know, it's not going to be like a carbon copy of the movie. And it just made me very, very appreciative. And they really do feel like they're doing something different. And honestly, the book, like, I remember when they announced the show, I was like, yes, there is so much stuff from the book that could actually warrant an entire TV series. And I think 3 seasons is literally the perfect amount. Like, I genuinely think that's like the perfect amount. And I mean, like, one of my favorite things from the book is the Bradley gang shootout, and they show it, they show a hint of it in the what's it called, the intro, because he has the gun, the Tommy gun, and he's shooting people. Because in the book, he instigates this shootout between like these mobsters, and I think the police. So there's just a bunch of weird shit like that I was like, oh, we would have never seen in a movie, you know. And now they're like, yeah, we're just gonna do it, and I'm like, hell yeah, I absolutely adore that. That they're just going, like pretty much just give all the really interesting stuff away in the first episode and being like, okay, we're gonna play it safe for the rest of the season. And nope, they have not so far. One big wants to use Pennywise as a as a weapon. They want to harvest it as a weapon. Yeah. seems about right for any government. Dangerous thing? Yeah, let's go ahead and just use him as a damn weapon against the Cubans or whatever. All right. So which leads me into Dick Halloran, and I'm already forgetting the grandfather's name. Well, I mean, he's not the grandfather in this timeline, but Will Hanlon's dad, which is Mike Hanlon's grandpa. He is it Mike? No, it's not Mike. Obviously, it's not Mike. Dumbass. Anyways, both those characters have a really interesting back and forth that I'm really liking, and I think the portrayal of Dick is awesome. And the fact that, once again, because we're just diving into like the expanded Stephen King continuity, we can really get into The Shining and do something really interesting with that. Because in the books, you know, and even the original miniseries, they do heavily hint to the fact that the kids do have The Shining. They all have like a little bit of it, but because they all come together and use it, they become more powerful. It was a big reason they were able to defeat it. Obviously, also with the help of Maturin. But them to actually go full on like crazy with the Shining powers, and how Dick is up against, you know, he thinks he's the shit. He's like, you know, you really see like that he is a broken person. You definitely just see it in the actor, like the way the actor just plays like just this super haunted person. You can just tell has just been through a lot, has seen a lot of fucked up shit. It's just great. But he still has a little bit of swagger to him, a little bit of confidence to him because of his abilities and knowing the fact that the government needs him. But then you get that moment where he meets not just it, but Pennywise, and he goes, "Who are you?" You know, and he just completely has like a fucking meltdown because he's like, it let him know, he's like, you're not in my head, I'm in yours. Like, I am more powerful. And obviously, in the multiverse of Stephen King, it is one of the most powerful entities there is. And it's this being of unfathomable like power, really. And you just see how much he is made aware of that and how scared that makes him. So I love that. And then to skip more towards, because I feel like you get a lot of the same in episode 3, but then episode 4 happens. Oh, episode 4. So now the kids got some proof, or what they believe is proof, of it at the graveyard. But then they go to Chief Bowers, and that doesn't end up going well for them. You know, pretty much tells them to fuck off. And they're like, now we don't know what to do. You know. Oh, shit. Can I go over? Nope. And then, but the biggest thing is you get, is it over exposition-y? Sure. But you get, I still loved it nonetheless. You get the whole the backstory between it and the natives, the children of Matern, and all of that was exceptional. Even if it was super exposition-y, I don't care. It was incredible. I know I was just complaining about exposition with Chris Stuckman's film, but you know, I really like the context of it because it's like, yeah, you know, these are this is folklore, it's folk tales passed down, and it just happens to be truthful. So I really like that they just told it like a story, because it is. It's a story within their culture. So I really like that. What happens if I go over? I'm gonna go back this way. And I think the fact that Dick uses his powers in the way he does to get a hold of that information was very, very fun. And it ended up leading to a really fucking creepy ass scene. You know, of him like smiling and the aunt's eyes start twitching. But you really get just a really, really good episode diving into like these like battles they had to deal with involving this entity. And it's like there's so much stuff they're taking from the book, but there's so much they also just have to make up. New characters, new lore, and they're just doing such a great job at it. And I think this episode was like the best example of that. And them diving into it seems like the Mist eventually, from what the trailers have been showing with the government program, you know, because in the books, and I'm sure it's been a while since I've seen the movie, but like the movie also pretty sure explores how the Mist was open up because of government experiences or experiments. And I just love that, like, we're taking all these different inspirations from different, not just it, but like different stories in Stephen King's world, and just expanding upon it and putting it into the context of this story. So I just genuinely think there's so much you can do with it, and I've just been very happy. Also, I guess like the last thing I'll really talk about is I absolutely adore how fucking vile the show is. I think it's more grotesque than the movies. I mean, that opening scene is horrendously scary and fucked up. The giving birth to the demon baby, it's flying around on the umbilical cord. There's just a lot wrong with that whole scene, and the Jewish lampshade, like just a bunch of just nasty fucked up shit. Like the movies feel more watered down compared to this, you know, and the movies were pretty intense in my opinion. I mean, they killed off a kid, like you've seen him get viciously murdered. It's not exactly something that we see a lot of in movies, especially at the time when that came out, you know. So I think the horror's been great. Every episode, I'm like, what inanimate object is gonna be the source of a fucked up sight, you know? Because we had the lampshade, we had the bedpost, we had the pickles, the jar of pickles. So I'm all like, what weird ass object are we gonna make scary? Which makes me say, like, this is the most Stephen King show there, or not even show, like live action project I've experienced. Like, it's just so weird. Like, pickles, like, I don't know, it's just so odd. Like, this is so Stephen King. It's so like ridiculous and hilarious and scary all at the same time, in the way King writes his stories. So I just like all these really wild ass ideas they're just going, going with and just going, yeah, we're going to do that. We're just going to do it. It's like weird, but we're just going to do it anyway. So, yeah. And that concludes my opinions on right now. Welcome to Derry is a 10 out of 10. I think it's fucking flawless. It's perfect. And as the thumbnail says, it's freaky as hell. And I can't wait for next week when hopefully Pennywise gets his full introduction. And yeah. And now I just have one more little topic that I want to talk about. Because it's just, you know, I'm just talking about bullshit. I'm just bullshitting here. Let me go ahead. Let's see. Yep, we're good. All right, back to Hollow Knight. There we go. All right. So I've been getting into The Witcher. Now, I got a PC, which is what I've been playing Hollow Knight on right now. And so my friend built me one. And so I've been just grinding on games left and right. Just like really just having a fucking hell of a time. Because I've been able to play a bunch of games that I've been wanting to play forever. You know, I just got through 2 of the Insomniac Spider-Man games. I still got to play Miles, which I'm looking forward to. I'm halfway through War of Cybertron, a Transformers game I wanted to play my whole life. And you know, obviously I'm playing a bunch of other stuff, but something that I've always wanted to play, which has always caught my eye, has been The Witcher. Now, like most people, I wasn't exactly aware that The Witcher was a book series. I thought it was a video game series, and like that was it. But then I was, you know, from getting into the Witcher, the Witcher lore, and just being interested in it, I found out, okay, it's a book series. And I ended up watching the first season of The Witcher, and I absolutely loved it. Like, I loved it so much. And then I didn't watch any other season because I heard it gets really bad. So, recently I bought The Last Wish, and I just finished it. And what was funny was, I went to New York for my birthday, and just by coincidence, one of my favorite YouTubers, Mr. Ballin, was doing a book signing to his new graphic novel, and I loved the one he put out last year. So I was like, oh shit, I really want to go get tickets to go meet him at his meet and greet. So I did. I bought tickets. It was like only $40. It covered the book itself, the signing. I got to take a few photos with him. I posted them on the community tab here. My photos were so bad. I wasn't like shy or anything to meet him. I'm just really bad at taking photos. Like, I am so awkward at photos. Right? So, anyways, I'm standing in line. And I look to my left, and on a windowsill is just a stack of new releases. Because in the fantasy genre, because we were standing right next to the fantasy section. And right next to it was the brand new Witcher book that just came out. Mind you, I was reading The Last Wish already while I was on vacation. I was like sitting there on the subway, because, you know, a lot of the subway rides would be like 20-30 minutes. I would just sit there and I was just like churning page after page. And I was like, holy shit, they just dropped, like, a few days before my birthday. I didn't know it. They dropped a new Witcher book. And I was like, cool. So I finished The Last Wish. And then for my birthday, one of my friends gifted me a Barnes & Noble's gift card. And I was like, oh, cool. So I ended up using it to buy the book. So I'm like halfway through the new one right now. It's a prequel. So it's like right after Geralt has basically graduated as a Witcher. And he's on his own now. And I am absolutely loving this book. I think I said it. I'm like halfway through it right now. The one criticism I do have so far right now is like, it does kind of skip a lot of things. Like, a lot of things kind of happen off page, and they're like, oh yeah, Geralt did this cool thing. I was like, that would have been cool to see that. You know, like, why'd you have to just gloss that over? It was just like that's a cool thing to get into. I will eventually watch the rest of The Witcher. Probably only for a YouTube video. So I'm not gonna watch this current season yet. I've seen a lot of videos about it. It sounds fucking horrendous as hell. But once the show wraps up, probably in like another 2 or 3 years, with how shows, especially Netflix, be putting out their seasons. I'll go ahead and just speed run the show, just most likely, so I can make a video about it. And by then I'll probably have read most of the books and played at least one of the games. I think there's 8 books right now, 8 or 9, and a good portion of them are like short story collections, so it's like really easy to kind of get through. Like this one that I'm reading right now isn't a short story collection, but it almost feels like one because of like how it's told. So it's like a bunch of little adventures Geralt goes on, but there is an actual main storyline being told. So it still is like mostly it's basically a narrative story while just feeling like a short story collection, if that makes any sense. And yeah, I mean, I'm just talking about it because it's my current obsession. A few months ago, for the past few months, it's been Warhammer, also another big thing Henry Cavill's a fan of, and that he's trying to get made into a TV series. And then before that was Magic. I mean, I'm still on that Magic run. I mean, literally, like, my whole room is just stacked with Magic cards. So this is like a Spider-Man deck I'm working on. I actually did enjoy the Spider-Man Magic the Gathering set. Is it a great set? No, but it's a fun set. Is it one that you could really make some real competitive decks out of? Not really. But the thing is, I'm not really a super competitive player. I have like 2 decks that are like super competitive, and one of them I spent like probably like $200 on, which, like, I know like people with hobbies, they're all like, oh, that's nothing. Man, that's a lot of money. Let's just be honest. Let's stop pretending like that's not a lot of money. But anyways, yeah, I just want to talk about it because I just want to. Literally just it. And I'm just happy to be going on this little Witcher journey. After I'm done with this, I actually did pick up an omnibus of Witcher comics from Dark Horse. So right when I'm done with this, I'm gonna start reading that. But I have to get back to Dark Tower. I'm like, I'm around halfway done with the series. There's 8 books. I've read 3 of them, so I'm on. I can't see the title of the 4th one, but I'm going into the 4th book, and so once I'm done reading this one, I'm gonna be going back and forth between the Witcher comic series that I bought, and then the actual the Dark Tower book itself. The Dark Tower series, because I'm trying to get that done by the end of next year, because there's more stuff in the Dark Tower like, you know, that ties directly to the Dark Tower. Like, there's this trilogy of books called like, it's called the Gwendolyn trilogy, that ties heavily into the Dark Tower. I mean, like, the last book in the trilogy came out like 2 years ago or something around that, and the Dark Tower is literally on the cover of the book, you know. So there's a lot more Stephen King. I've read maybe like 20 or like it's over 20. It's probably close to 30. I'm probably like at like 28 books of his I've read. So I've almost read like half of like his stuff. I think he has like 90 books. I own about like 40 of them. So it's like, what, 1/3 maybe? I don't know. My math ain't mathing. But yeah, I mean, that. Oh my God, that's a big boy. Come at me. Oh. And now that I died, I think that's a perfect place to end this video, or this live stream. Thank you for tuning in, for whoever did. And if anyone ends up watching it later, thank you. Yeah. I love live streams. I love talking about things that I'm into. Pretty much it. So yeah. I will see you guys later. I need to get back to finishing this book because it's really addicting. It's really good. And your boy wants to make a cheeseburger. So I'm gonna go make a cheeseburger.